Just now, day number 3, perhaps this is the time where you start to see power rankings start really set it down, or would there be, the rise of newer regions into the group stages? Ladies and gents, welcome back into the Asian Games Esports MLBB qualifiers as well. We just saw Iran going up against Saudi Arabia today, earlier just now, and now we'll be able to watch Nepal going up against Hong Kong, China.
Yeah, this is quite interesting to say the least. Group D, being East Asia and South Asia, being combined into one region, has shown quite a bit of, here's and there's. There's not really any dominant teams. Hong Kong, China has played 3 games, 2 wins, 1 losses. Nepal has played 2 games apiece. Today, they are having a 2-game conflict. So, fighting up against Hong Kong, China in the first game definitely sets the pace for them going up against next match against Sri Lanka as well. There's only one, common team that they have fought against, which is Pakistan. Nepal has taken 2-1. Win against Pakistan, Hong Kong with 2 zeros. But like we saying in Group B in the earlier game, that stats don't really tell the whole story as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the time where, you don't, even though you can start to say that, yes, there's some games being played as well, but the sample size is there. There's also a lot of external factors that you have to consider. If the fact that Iran was able to take up at least 1 game away from the Saudi Arabia being the 3rd seed, going up against the 1st seed, hey, that is cool. But, I think we've been talking this to death, right? The fact that Cambodia took down Philippines, right? This is like the team liquid stack.
Yes.
Right? That's something that I feel like you couldn't count out these people as of yet, because right on the screen there will be your contenders for this particular match from Nepal: Binay, Ankit, Lilim, Mitoya, and also Kishore.
I think most of these players are pretty new to the international stage as well. Pretty interesting to see how they would draft, what kind of heroes are one of their signatures, or what are their hometown flavors they're bringing onto the scene as well. They did have 2 games on and off streams as well that they have played over the past 2 days. So it will be interesting to see what Hong Kong, China has done their homework on against Nepal. And on their side, speaking of Hong Kong, China, we have KY Zhang, KK Chan, HL Law, CJ Wang, and MY Chung. But for the sake of simplicity, we'll just call them Zhang, Chang, Law, Wang, and Chung.
Yeah, these are their surnames, by the way.
This is, yes.
just take note as well. But of course, this is the 4th seed going up against the 2nd seed in their particular groups. Of course, with Hong Kong, China leading the charge as of now. So far, they've done a pretty good job. I feel like we don't really have a lot of data, and of course, you mentioned that hometown favorites is something that we may be looking out for, right? Especially, don't forget, every region plays the game slightly differently. I remember there's a period of time where one of the regions, even though we've already transitioned away from the Johnson Audette, they were loving the Johnson Audette.
They were just bringing it back, and I remember that one international stage, just taking their own hometown flavors. Like, for example, Singapore, our sunny side, we have Diablo putting into the international stage and putting into the limelight the Khalid picks, the Minzatar and the EXP picks, the Badangs that were up and coming as well. So it will be interesting. I do want to point out the fact that for Nepal, they've only played 2 games so far. Hong Kong, China has played 3 games, so this will be their 4th game of the entire group run, their 4th and last game facing up against Nepal. So if they win out against Nepal, they will be in a pretty safe spot and tied to 1st and 2nd seed against Mongolia.
So does that mean that this is perhaps the only last chance for the side of Hong Kong, China to be able to rack up some points if they really want to be the 1st seed? I know being the 2nd seed in the group stage is nice and dandy, but we saw what happened. What could potentially happen to Jordan, right? Yeah, you really want to solidify yourself at the 1st seed, because especially when, if you're in the 3rd seed, you are at the mercy of other teams. Then you drop down to the last chance qualifier, and then you have to go through the scenic route, especially for this group.
Yeah, definitely not a nice position to be in when you're putting your hopes and your fates into some other team's hands.
Yeah,
and you don't know how they're going to perform anyway. So really play your best, and I think they have shown some prowess in the form of taking 2-0 off of Sri Lanka in the same group stage, taking off 2-0 to Pakistan as well. So for them coming in here, their only loss was against Mongolia 2-0,
which is
0-2 in favor of Mongolia.
I mean, definitely the Khans still leading the charge right here, especially, they do have some presence in the M series as well, and it's actually really fascinating to be able to see this, especially like what I mentioned. It's just, you know, and I love it, right? Being able to witness some of these other regions that you don't really usually see in the M series to really show themselves, hey, what kind of meta they bring in, what kind of flavor they bring in. Maybe we can learn one or two things from them, because I feel like definitely Team Liquid did learn something from the Cambodians.
Yeah, definitely. I think from the Southeast Asian stage, it was really a very messy, chaotic kind of run. We're all in the Southeast Asian region for a very long time. Mobile Legends has existed here for a pretty long time as well. For Hong Kong, China, pretty much a new entrance to the scene. Nepal as well. And them understanding and learning about the game is definitely different from the rest of us. We haven't really faced them in the Southeast Asian region for teams against Hong Kong and Nepal in their own region, so we don't really know what kind of heroes they're going to pick, what kind of signatures they're going to come in. So we're starting off the game pretty soon. Broken walls with the map and environment of this matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. If you are a history nerd, I think you may be able to link Broken Walls to this particular matchup right there. But yeah, like, look, Broken Walls is one of my favorite maps as well inside of MLBB as of now. There's so many avenues, so many ways for you to gang, and that also makes you, like, you know, you gotta have to be a slightly mobile when you go around the map. This is where, you know, your colleagues. We saw the Mathilda in the previous game earlier just now. It's starting to shine, and look at Hong Kong, China. They saw what this Panda can do. They don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, this is a pretty good start right off the bat. Just taking out the Akai and knowing that Akai does have that invulnerability. He does have that
heavy spin.
You know, the heavy spin to disrupt the zone potential, the tankiness that it brings to the table. So Hong Kong, China just doesn't want to deal with that. Now, for the blue one side, you have the first pick, first ban. Paquito is definitely on the line, on the tables. Juicin as well. You have also got the likes of the Freya, so to speak. So for Nepal, the ball is in their court. They have the power to decide what they want to leak out to Hong Kong, China.
They're taking away the Freya right off the bat, Churros. Nepal just doesn't want to see the Freya. Albeit the Freya kind of fell off, in my opinion, in terms of the priority pick. I feel like the Freya is just so susceptible to so many CCs, right? One of the easy ways to deal with the Freya is either using the Phobias. Take note that she could dash all the time. You allow Phobias to just constantly jump and reset his cooldowns. Apart from that, there's also the Mincetar, technically speaking, a huge counter to the Freya. Akai at the same time. So unfortunately, luckily for both these two teams, they're not going to be able to hit Freya for now. The Paquito, the Paquito is still up, and the Phobius is also still up as well.
Yep, Phobius, Paquito.
Legend.
Juicin is definitely still up. I think Rijong has been pretty much in the scene for quite a bit of teams as well. Due to the fact that, you know, Akai is being picked up, a lot of artillery mages, long-range mages. The Rijong is being picked up as sort of like a gap closer, which a lot of teams really like and they appreciate in these kinds of long, drawn-out team fights. The ability to zone the backline out, the ability to push away the main damage dealers and to bait out their ultimates and to be able to sustain themselves. I think this meta is really a showcase of the fighters really coming in.
Definitely, right? I feel like, of course, you know, if you take a look at the Mobile Legends Bang Bang game, especially when you go to hero selection, there's way too many fighters, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's a fighter, and the lines get to be really blurred between tank and the fighter as well, because technically speaking, a fighter also wants to sustain, also wants to initiate as well. But if you notice from the side of Hong Kong, China,
taking out all the tank junglers.
All tank junglers already gone, and then after that, maybe they're gonna force assassins coming out. Guinevere coming up from the side of Hong Kong, China, prioritized right off the bat. Nepal bans over the Hilda already, the Juicin, the Suyo perhaps coming in for the side of Nepal as well.
Not only does Hong Kong, China have a plan, they have an idea, and I was really sussing out the Phobias. Maybe not, but Guinevere, we've seen how well it did on game 2 against Iran and Saudi Arabia. So bring in the Guinevere this time around and taking out all the big threats that Nepal could potentially bring in. The tank junglers are gone, they're off the tables. They're baiting out the assassins. The Suyos need to come into fray. The Nolans need to come into fray. If you want to risk it, maybe you can throw a Hylos into the jungle, but it's a very risky move. It's still one of the fastest after you know, Baxia to clear the jungle just because of the Ring of Punishment, but the Guinevere excels in that early game damage, the early game crowd controls.
Nice pick actually coming out from the side of Nepal and also Hong Kong, China, right? The fact that Nepal actually went for the high loss they're also expecting the guard to come out. We saw the high loss, the glorious pathway as well, and now that guard looks very scary because there's also a Yu Zhong that's just flying around.
I called it. The Yu Zhong is basically picked just to counter the Gord.
So juicy, man.
Yeah, Gord is just sitting there. We have the Mystic Gush. It is a little bit challenging to control with the laser's direction, and it is so much easier if you have the Black Dragon form to just circle around. You're not able to just lock on
Disco ball.
to that flying menace, and then it just lands next to you, petrify, and does that full combo.
Yeah.
So the Yu Zhong definitely a good pick right here. If Hong Kong, China really wanted the Gord pick, they should have banned out the Yu Zhong, but then they do have a plan with the 3 tank junglers. Right now, even a little more is being banned out, so they just want to give the jungler an easier time. Guinevere is going to excel in this.
Dude, you have 4
junglers right now.
They're going to invest 4 of the ban slots into banning out Nepal's jungle. And I think that's a statement coming out from inside Hong Kong,
They know
China,
something
right?
we don't, Jace.
Yeah, and the fact that Nepal is also going to ban away the Atlas, the Uranus going up next. They know that they don't really have the capabilities to deal with these very tanky heroes. And yeah, evidently, right, Harif and also the Yu Zhong, technically speaking, not known to deal with your utility jungles, your tanks as well. And the best part is, Nepal is not afraid because beside Hong Kong, China, they banned away the Frederick, they banned away the Akai, and also the Baxia as well.
So the Yves is being banned out. At least they have a little bit more diversity this time around. So Nepal doesn't have that holy trinity of zone control, being the RWM, the Red Carpet, and the Zaman Forest coming in from Harris, Hylos, and the Yves. So right now, the ball is in their favor. We have seen farces here and there, still an artillery mage. Juicin is still on the table, though I'm not sure why they're not picking it right off the bat. And it does pretty well alongside the Hylos with the concussive blast, with a little bit of heal potential, and you have that Red Carpet to increase that speed and chase capabilities.
Yeah, I think Juicin definitely fits into the... Oh, I love this Belleric coming up from the side of Hong Kong, China. The Lapu Lapu as well. This is your anti-dive. And also, to a certain extent, there's also Disengage coming up from the Guinevere, right? With the Spatial Migration. There's also Lapu Lapu with the Bravest Warrior. I would say it's still not too shabby in terms of a roster, but I feel like your main damage dealer in the form of Gord is already kind of counted, unless the Belleric, the anti-dive, activating the ultimate to lock everybody down for the side of Nepal, and then after that giving Gord and also the Guinevere a lot of opportunities for you to burst people down. I think that's okay. I feel like Hong Kong, China needs to play around this Bruno pick, especially in the gold lane. But then, here comes the Lilia as well. Secondary line, big bursty damage. You also got the Suyo to clean it up at the same time. Yeah, this is a very scary roster coming off from Nepal, not gonna lie.
Yeah, honestly though, both teams really showing their flavors right off the bats. In Southeast Asia, we're super used to Juicin being first our blue 1, red 1 pick. And right now, it's just the Lilia being picked up right here. Wave clearing potential, you do have a little bit more assistance with the high loss as well, and fast rotations, especially with the broken walls. You're just able to get from A to B using the hypotenuse instead of just really a straight cut into any directions. Hong Kong, China also bringing out
when you said hypotenuse, the first thing that came into my mind is trigonometry. What's next?
Yeah, the fastest point from point A to point B. That's what I'm saying, Jace.
Integration?
But for Hong Kong, China as well. We're talking about hometown flavors. They're bringing back the Bruno. We haven't seen that in a hot minute. We're seeing Keller actually bring it out in MPL ID in the previous season, but that's only very, very situational. They locked it in from the first half of the phase, and it does very well in the early game with a lot of high damage, especially up against the Harrow that is picked directly after. They have a mix of good magic and physical damage that we like to see.
Yeah, and I like how I was really, if I remember Nepal as a region correctly, based on my past view, last time when I watched their games, they really love their assassin pick. That's why I see Suyo coming in, and don't forget, Suyo is looking to snowball. And if you notice, Nepal is actually pathing very aggressively into Hong Kong, China's territory. Yeah,
now with the new rotations and the new timings for the jungle, it really changes and switches things up. You're not going to open up, or you're going to be basically opening up your color buffs for your opponents to really dive in. And with a really tanky frontliner like the Hylos right off the bat, it creates that opportunity and space for the early engage. You don't want the Guinevere to get that level 4 ASAP. Because once that Violet Requiem comes in, that's it. You're locked up, you're stunned up, you're jumping around like trampolines, and it's harder to take down. Take a look at the emblems right here. That's the fighter emblems for the Bruno. This is really interesting because we see a lot of fighter emblems really coming up. The sustain that it brings to the table, the additional life steal and spell vamp that it just really brings to his kit. Really excels in that.
Yeah, especially when the Bruno, right? One of the key items is the Hearth Claws, and now it feels like you already have half the Hearth Claws because you picked up that fighter emblem, right? Being able to sustain in lane, being able to stay a lot earlier. You can duel as well, especially against Binay on this Harif as well. You do a lot of damage once you get that up and going. But I also need to point out, right? Lilim on this Lilia is also a very interesting pick. If you notice Hong Kong China's roster, really stationary, especially when they do the ultimates. That's where Lilim could just lay down bombs after bombs. And I feel I've seen this before for the side MPL Singapore.
It's really a shake and bake. First turtle being spawned up right here. CJ Wang is going to take control of this versus 4 members of Nepal and making a charge.
Charging out arrow as well. Cheong also, Bravest Warrior, Mitoya in a spot of trouble, has to jump away. And Kishore will be able to find onto Wong as well. Ankit leading the charge as well, just tagging on to Cheong as much as possible. Flicker already committed, but Kishore, the listen, no, a dragon has encroached onto the territory of Hong Kong, China.
What a good find for Kishore. Immediately identifying the spatial migration, coming in from Wang, going in for the counter re-engage, and the damage from Yu Zhong. So underestimated.
Nepal, that gameplay reminds me of a ballerina. They dance around that danger right there coming out from Hong Kong, China. Hong Kong, China was outputting everything they could in that one as you take a look at this replay.
Yes, Wang made a really terrible decision, going and straight away jumping in first. Chan wasn't in the right position and was way too far behind. I think that the idea was Wang tries to start things off with the spatial migration, at least try to get 1 or 2 members off the ground from Nepal, and then Chan goes in for the ultimate as well. But in actual fact, he's just throwing his bodies. He knows that the Guinevere is a little bit paper in the early game, so if you want to risk that, that doesn't really make a lot of sense at the start.
But the biggest problem is Chan doesn't really have the ultimate, right? You're level 3 when you go into the turtle, and that's where I think the biggest difference between these two teams. Not just the fact that Mitoya just piloted into Suyo very gracefully. Like, it's so amazing how you see there's so many CC coming out from Wang and also to a certain extent Law and also Chan, but it did not land. Mitoya get away scot-free, takes the turtle, and also gets 2 assists along with it.
You know, in hindsight, during the draft, hold on a second, KK Chan will be saved, but just to finish my thought...
One, fighting on that, that's also going to be the Mystic Gush as well. Fighting on to Mitoya, 2 ultimates make it 3 at the same time, but Kishore coming in, landing in front of Hammonds on this massive dragon, also just wrecking havoc in the roster for the side of Hong Kong, China. Kishore still dashing out, Cheong also absorbing most of the damage, but it is still Nepal unable to punish until Hong Kong Chan's pickoff.
You know, as soon as we say good praises about Suyo and was like, you know, underestimating Wang a bit, they showed us Wang waiting in that dot bush, knowing that Mitoya will just path towards that that bear golem thingy and just immediately go straight for the pickoff. The response from Nepal, though, really well done. Even though they didn't get the counter kill and punish for Wang, at least they got some push off back. At least they had a little bit of, hey, you know, if you want to take out my jungle, I will take yourself back. Take a little itemizations right here. Skypiercer, first item for Mitoya. He's really risking it this time around.
Yeah, he definitely needs that one. The Suyo really scaled so much on this guy. Piercer, I feel like Nepal was once beaten already triple shine, right? Giving the turtle over the side of Hong Kong, China.
So, in this case, I feel like for Nepal, they did have the opportunity to contest for that one, but now that Mitoya is out and about, the passivity of Nepal really coming to fruition. They know that they don't want to risk it now that CJ Wang is still on the table.
Something interesting, Mitoya is still level 9 versus CJ Wang, who is also slightly behind. Earlier just now was only level 7. Even though they get, Hong Kong China secured that turtle, Nepal, technically speaking, just because of the jungle, they're still in the lead. The third turtle still in the favor of, well, at the very least, Nepal still has that advantage.
For Matoya, though, I think the Sky Piercer is just a means to an end. He does need a little bit more time to farm up, get at least a Hunter Strike, get at least, you know, maybe even a War X for a little bit more sustain before you go ham on any one of the other members, the loose members of Hong Kong, China. In this particular state, though, I feel like if you're just comparing apples and oranges, you're comparing the assassins versus the fighters. Assassins are definitely going to have a much earlier, better time.
Big damage coming up from Binay on the Zaman Forza, but you can see Zheng just instantly heals it back all the way back up using the Finder Emblem.
Not only Fire Emblem, he's got a Has Claws as well.
Has Claws as well,
So
yeah, that's right.
Just one item away, just a couple of gold away from the Berserker's Fury, so that's going to be a huge power spike from that bottom gold lane.
Yeah, Zheng is actually threatening onto Binay as well down bot. Members on the side of Hong Kong, China also starting to reinforce, looking for opportunity. Law just landing down the bombs will not be able to land, but if that land, that would be a dead Binay.
Good pushback from Hong Kong, China. At least they secured that bottom side. Both teams are still hunkering down the bottom side for the gold laners. At least they want to make a 5-man play on that third turtle of the game. The early rotations already coming in from that top side down to the bottom, but Ankit is there for a little bit more reconnaissance, which I do like. Nepal does have the upper hand still.
Still a bit. That's going to be a pick off. We'll be able to find out the Kishori members for the side. Nepal just catching off guard, and now all of a sudden, Hong Kong, China is just leading guerrilla warfare against Nepal, and Nepal have to really start opening the map more diligently.
Sneaky. For the Guinevere, is just playing this fighter like an assassin.
Definitely. Turtle already being set up right here for the side of Nepal, but they have to forfeit right here. China leading the charge as well. Just holding on to the ultimate. Will be able to activate it, but Mitoya will be able to steal that away. Here comes the Mystic Guts right here. We'll be able to target down onto Binay. The Zaman Force forfeited, but Hong Kong, China losing the Turtle over the side of Nepal.
Great start to the team fight. This is precisely what you want to see. KK Chan basically just going in first. CJ Wang holding back, finishing off that turtle. But to add fuel to the fire, Zheng is coming online. You've got to sustain, you've got to damage, you've got to Berserker's Fury. Nepal is going to go down one after another. Right now, Hong Kong, China up in terms of 1,200 gold lead so far. And they are going to scale so much faster just because they have a physical damage, a little bit more reliable marksman.
Yeah, look, if Nepal wasn't able to turn on the faucet of Law, they're going to absorb so much damage. Don't forget, Zheng has been also scaling hard against Binay earlier just now. Binay wasn't able to pick up any form of kills, also unable to pick up any form of assists as well. And if there's also the Zaman Force that's already constantly threatened by Chan and also Law, to a certain extent, even Cheong as well with the Bringers Warrior, right? He's forcing on him off the Zaman Force. There's not a lot of damage coming out from Nepal. And Mitoya already, you know, constantly getting picked off right here. Even though he's ahead in levels, yes, he's able to secure the neutral objective, but he's not stacking Sky Piercer.
I just want to add to your point about Law. In actual fact, Law's Mystic Gush is so hard to land. It's Nepal's draft is very mobile. But the fact that they took out Kishore right before the turtle fight just created that space for the Mystic Gush to push back the enemies and create some space and time to split up these team fights.
And Chan as well, right, on the battery. That's a very long time. Technically, it's also going to be stunned. Kishore main target right now. There's going to be a winter crown committed by Law. Mitoya will be able to find onto Wang. Bust him in down. That's the first Sky Piercer stack for him.
Great find, great block off.
Great block off, but hold on a second. Law using the Mystic Gush just instantly melting down Kishore. Another down as well. Ankit Cheong picking that kill up.
Insane punish. Zheng also doing the macro game, sitting comfortably down on the bottom side as well. Binay can't even find a way to come back into it. And Zheng, not even in the team fights just as of yet, Hong Kong, China showing the damage coming in from Law. They know that, hey, you know what? Let's just put Law in the mid game. The late game is all Zheng's show.
Yeah, but dude, Churros, I don't understand from the side of Hong Kong, China, how is Law able to get away with amazing Mystic Gush when, you know, Nepal has so many tools to deal against Law as Wang picks up this Lord.
Simple. Kishore already used up that the Black Dragon immediately right before that. Take a look at the
even a Glorious Pathway as well.
Yeah, Kishore, no ultimates. Law sitting comfortably right on that one. You got the taunt up, you got the stun, and there we go. The damage comes through. So Law's just sitting happily at the backside. You used to have so much damage and you don't have any disruption towards that gourd.
Man, with friends like these, okay, sorry,
you don't need enemies?
Wrong application of idioms, but hey, with friends like Hong Kong, China right here, Law, gourd, it's such an easy gameplay, right? There's so many avenues that Hong Kong China was able to do. Mitoya in the spot of trouble right now as Wong and also Cheong. This is just a Naruto Sasuke fight right here.
Oh, that was such a beautiful chase, especially from CJ Wong, just finishing up that buff to get additional economy to her name as well. And Hong Kong China just, even though the kill is just 5-3, Hong Kong China is just dominating Nepal right now.
Yeah.
I feel like for Nepal though, Nepal there isn't a lot of wave clear potential apart from this Lilia aside from now. The Lord is also pushing in. Hong Kong China cannot make a mistake. They have too many high committal heroes.
Yeah, Hong Kong China, by the way, like legit, Law is getting away with these crazy Mystic Gush, right? And the timing for Law to use this Mystic Gush, you can see the confidence from this B2 pick, right? The fact that they're going up against, you know, even a High Loss, even a, to a certain extent, the Lilia, and also a Yuzhong, right? He still locks in this Gord and trusts his teammates to either land the stun. We're gonna pick him off one after another. You got Chen, you got Cheong on these ultimates that could just stun and also taunt. Yeah, all of a sudden it's so much easier for Law to execute.
Yeah, and like we said though, you take a little damage dealt. That is the highest, top of the charts. Then again, I want to say that Hong Kong China has this kind of strategy where they don't like to fight as 5. They like to split up these team fights and go straight for the macro game. Very intelligent on their part. They know that, okay, let's just try to disrupt that team fight, draw the 5 members together, and then send someone up to the macro lane or long lane to deal with the turrets and the lanes. So you don't really have to go for these 5-on-5 team fights.
And also, because of that, you know, your lane fixed against Nepal's favor. Mitoya was sent to go all the way back up there. That's where the bushwhack appeared, right? Wang and also Cheong just tag teaming, just taking out Mitoya. Don't forget, Mitoya on the Suyo is squishy.
Speaking of squishy though, I think that Mitoya's first item, Sky Piercer, is really biting him in the foot now. Even though he's got a Sky Piercer first item, he's not sustaining well enough. He's still holding on to that one. At least he has that sustain in the form of War Eggs and a little bit more damage and penetration from the Hunter Strike. The main damage will come from Lilin as of this point. Kishore's only job is to try to disrupt that backline. But now it's going to be a lot harder now that Jung has a full Trinity crit build.
I feel that Kishore also going in pure damage, you do need some form of tankiness, especially if you want to do. I feel like Kishore's main goal is not to kill. It's there to just disrupt team fights, disrupt Law, push him off, Mystic Gush. That's your whole duty right there. Any kill is kind of like a bonus to a certain extent.
Yeah, basically just parachute down on top of Law, petrify him, disrupt the Mystic Gush, and just buy time for your team to really come in.
Just ball started to hurt at the same time. Hong Kong China will be able to secure the Lord as well. Now Kishore will be able to use the Dragon to just try to fly away. He's down low at the same time. One after another from the side of Hong Kong China. Zheng finds the kill onto Enkit.
Look at this state of the team fight. Nepal can't even get close.
Dude.
Hong Kong China is just sending Wang just doing the Lord's work. No pun intended. But then Zheng coming into the team fights, when they fight a 5-on-5, there was no way in heck that they're able to disrupt Zheng at all. He's got the sustain, he's got the, right now with the Malefic gun, he's got the range, he's got the distance, he's got the damage, he's got the burst. And even Kishore with the Black Dragon form, we saw that in the Lord fight. Lord was at half health, he's got the Black Dragon in, he's taking a lot of damage from Zheng, he's like, okay.
I gotta back out.
I
fly in, and then all of a sudden I realize, hey, I need emergency landing. I need to back
control. I've got to turn back. There's someone on my flight, man.
Man, it's not. I don't envy Nepal. This is a very tough team fight opportunity. Even though I was earlier leaning against Nepal because they do have the tools. I want to see them executing that one, but unfortunately, you know, Law. With that Mystic Gush, with so many CCs, by the time Hong Kong China is forcing down Nepal's throat, and Nepal is not able to hold, especially the top side.
Extremely dominant though. Like, they know their main targets, they know how to play, they know how to strategize around that Zheng, just dealing that damage from back line.
Zheng is just dismantling top side and mid at the same time. Kishore flying onto the Dragon form and try to push the members from the side of Hong Kong China away, but the minions are also marching against Nepal. Bottom lane for the side of Nepal already taken down by the side of Hong Kong China already. Half HP, it's the base for the side of Nepal as everything onto the table. That's going to be a nice picture by one. The Law still laying down the Mystic Gush. The glare is halfway laid down by the side of as the members from the side of Hong Kong China knocking on the core of Nepal. One after another, and they started losing steam just a little bit, but more than another. Minions marching in. Hong Kong, China takes game number 1.
What a statement from Hong Kong, China, right off the bat, showing us a hero that isn't really played in this Southeast Asian region. But then, hey, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going back to basics, bringing out the Bruno once again, playing to their strengths, playing to their metal, and then just showing us how it pretty much just works around. The Bruno at the end of the game was just hitting like a truck. So he's just leaving in the back. But the last Raptor Dryad from the Belleric held up 3 members. Black Dragon was just used way too panicky. It was just a trigger finger on their part trying to save that T3. But then again, pulling 3 members in and just decimating them with the gush as well.
I think for the side of Kishore, I agree. You have to do something, right? You have to protect. But don't forget, you're going up against Zheng. Zheng and a Bruno with those, you know, Malefic gun. You're just literally tearing, you're just uprooting turrets one after another. You can see how with one fell swoop, 1 Lord is all it takes. Law is definitely feeling it from the Mystic Gush.
Well, definitely feeling it. He's proud of himself. He's played a very fantastic Gordon, even up against one of his natural predators in a dragon.
Yeah.
And he showed that, you know, this guy on the surfboard is just killing it on the waves.
It's like the chicken starts to hunt down the eagle. Usually it's the other way around if you follow the food web, but it doesn't make sense.
Well,
right?
to that point though, the chicken used to be a T-Rex, or I might be mistaken. It's not been technically proven
T-Rex
as of
that lost its tail, huh?
But then again, this was an incredible board play right from the get-go. He's landing the stuns, he's creating that space, empowered by Chan's Belleric in order to find the approaches, find the kills, and Hong Kong China just played the macro game so much better than how Nepal actually counteracted that. They're not fighting as 5 members, they're not pulling resources in and throwing all their eggs into one basket, all their eggs into one fight. They're leaving Zheng on the side lanes, they're pushing in these turrets, they're creating space, they're creating control.
There's a lot of times where legit, like what you mentioned, like fixing the lane, forcing Nepal out of position to basically deal with the lane, they surprise it, and once, you know, Mitoya was receiving end of it at least twice, all of a sudden Mitoya's priority fell dramatically. You don't feel the presence of the Suyu anymore, and it's just Hong Kong China's game. Yeah.
For the side of Mitoya though, we discussed a little bit of the Skypiercer first item, especially within a lot of the regions. And Skypiercer, like, you know, the internet likes to say it's a brawl item. And I do understand why they say it as that. You want to get into these skirmishes, you want to get into these team fights, but Law is in the way. Wang is also, after that first mistake that he jumped in first, and, you know, his team was all not ready, and Nepal was finding a way to win the early game team fights. He sort of adjusted his playstyle. I feel like Mitoya should have adjusted his own too.
Look, the amount of damage dealt from the side of Hong Kong China is not too far apart from the side of Nepal. Nepal does have the damage, but it's landing onto the likes of Chan, it's landing on the likes of Chung, who's also absorbing everything back. Don't forget Wang, also absorbing all of that back, right? And apart from that, it's just, you know, Nepal side too squishy, right? I did say that, Kishore, I think you need a lot more tanky items. The kill is a good thing. I feel like Nepal's region has always prioritized, I want team fight, I want to kill, I want to, after that, take objectives. But I agree, Hong Kong China is playing this really smart MLBB in a way where I just play the macro, I force mistakes out on Nepal, and I punish you for it.
Yeah, it's like Nepal is playing checkers while Hong Kong China is just playing chess. And it kind of worked out in their favor. And this is the MLBB that we know and love. So the execution is not too far from how Southeast Asia, and you know, it reminds me of how Philippines really likes to play it. Don't throw your marksman into the mix so early. Just let him time to simmer in the oven, let him cook a little bit, throw down the turrets before the last hit.
Yeah, on that analogy on the checkers, I feel like Hong Kong China is playing the Chinese chess, whereas Nepal is playing chess. Fair.
Right? So I wouldn't say East versus West, but like in a way it kind of is South versus East.
Yeah, I really love what I'm seeing for the side of Hong Kong China. Excited what they can offer in Nagoya as well, and of course, you know, Nepal. Don't forget, this is the 2nd seed going up against the 4th seed in the favor of Hong Kong China as well. I don't like to sugarcoat things. That was a convincing win for the side of Hong Kong China.
As much as it was convincing though, lest I lest I let you remember the first game in the first series of today. Iran took a game off Saudi Arabia.
True.
And Saudi Arabia was like, okay, I'm waking up.
Don't
I'm
count
coming
your
back.
chickens before they hatch.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yep.
Some of the eggs
idioms.
might be broken. Some of the eggs might be, you know, for you to cook, and not yet. I don't know what I'm saying right now.
Maybe too early for you as well.
But you know, hey, you know, Jace, this has been a really fun game, especially for Hong Kong, China. It's really, it goes down to the strategy of how to play and how they execute. Even the draft itself, we're talking about hometown flavors. They brought back the Bruno. They brought back the Belleric as well. I want to see more of these, you know, teams outside of the Southeast Asia regions really bring in their hometown flavors.
Hey, come on. Let's be real here. Berserker's Fury change. Leslie?
Possibly it was pulled out a couple of times in different regions in Southeast Asia.
Come on, you're not on the Leslie train, man. I'm a bit biased right here.
Yeah, but it's very
Evidently.
situational. But right now, since the advent of Claude coming into the meta so much more, Leslie used to be a natural predator. And so I won't be too surprised if Leslie was picked up to counteract the Claude, to counteract, you know, the likes of Belleric, because you're only hitting, you know, 1-2 shots, and it's basically, I wouldn't say Oko.
Moment, another fellow Leslie Enjoyer as well. Yeah, and it kind of matches what this roster, what the meta kind of needs, right? And once you start, you know, Sky Pierce on the Leslie as well, and all of a sudden you I'm just trolling.
Yeah,
could be a rank thing.
Well, I mean, you said it, Jace. I want to see more of this.
I want to see other.
I want to see others.
Other heroes, right?
Difference, and our wishes might be answered. Right now, Nepal in the blue, banning out the same heroes, but Hong Kong, China, they're not playing the same thing twice.
Unfortunately, not gonna lie, I'm a bit sick of looking at meta heroes. I want to see non-meta, especially when it comes to, you know, the 2026 Asian Game Esports events, especially when you start to see other regions coming in and show, hey, you never know. Don't forget, Singapore showed off that, hey, the Khalid is really strong. Used till now as a role.
And you know, Guinevere's lived all the way until now. Shout out to, you know, Wise from all the way in the past, bringing that fighter jungler up, bringing the tank jungler into the meta. He was the one who, you know, coined it from the start, from his old teams, and then coming into the international stage, it's still been used until now. And right now, it's found so much viability. First pick going to be in the side of Nepal right now. Hong Kong, China banning out the junglers and don't want to risk giving the Guinevere over to Nepal.
Paquito, Phoveus. You mentioned also the Guinevere. Guinevere already banned as well. Juicin, we haven't seen Juicin in this particular day as well. Unfortunately, first pick Claude.
Hey, your dreams might be answered.
Greedy.
Your wishes might be answered, though. I was saying, like, the conditions.
Hong Kong trying to do it.
Conditions for Claude. You want someone with early game and late game kind of potential to counteract that Claude. Come in with Blazing Duet, you two-shot Oko. That's basically how you want to play it. Typically, a lot of teams like to build the Harith. It's a very safe pick, but we haven't seen Harith perform so well, at least for the earlier parts of the 2 days.
Yeah, Harith, I feel personally has
been forced. It's such a forced hero.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case as well. And at the same time, you only see like the professionals really playing the Harith like a crazy monster that's zapping around, landing on the shields. It's almost nigh unkillable. But now Alice coming in for the mix for the side of Hong Kong, China to deal with it. And of course, the Gord's Law coming in for the side of Hong Kong, China as well.
Law's Guard and Gord's Law. Man, it's honestly a tongue twister, but I'd like to see him on that Gord once again. But this time around, it's not going to be Yu Zhong. It's going to be Paquito that he needs to face up against. So a little bit of a difference on how he plays. And not only that, you got Atlas as well.
Yep, Atlas is a good way to also deny the area as well. You could dive onto the Gord, but at the same time, Atlas with the TOR also anti-dives at the same time. Paquito, of course, you know, I'm surprised it's a B3 pick. Not even R2, by the way. Yeah, so coming in for the side of Kishore, Jung goes back into his Bruno. No more Leslie.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. Honestly, I was quite surprised because the B3 Paquito picked up in Nepal. There is something that Hong Kong, China is definitely cooking up. Paquito in a lot of the regions that we've seen is super high priority. If it's open, just pick it up. But there might be something that they're teasing, that they're not saying, that they want to bring up. because you know the Paquito does have a lot of rotation speed. They have a lot of early game and late game damage. Your backline is going to be in shambles. It's going to crumble. It's going to tear cracks into your shoulders. But the Alice with the TOR creates that open opportunity for team fights for you that maybe Hong Kong China wants to bring into the table.
I like how Nepal is reacting to the Valeric. Earlier just now, if I remember correctly, it was Chen, right? Holding on to the Valeric. It's just counter dives, especially right now when Nepal is all about dive. I think Hong Kong China, there's something else that could just do that thing. Like what I mentioned earlier just now, there's also a potential Minotaur if you want to pull that back to do it. Or to a certain extent, Kufra, right? Like Kufra deals quite well against Paquito. You shut him down with the bouncing ball. And don't forget the Phobias is also wide open, but they've already selected an Alice in the EXP lane. The pop bans over the high loss.
And Chen is definitely one of those heroes that, one of those players that you want to look out for. He has empowered Hong Kong China so much in the previous game, albeit a rough start in the early side. Yusun Shin getting picked up here, definitely a little bit more late game insurance. Don't you think? You don't really have a lot of tankability. Alice definitely soaks a lot of damage, but you have to play your cards right. If Alice goes in straight away, you're soaking in that damage. You don't really have a lot of sustain. You're leaving that back line open. So right now what they're doing is, if Bruno goes down, I want to use Isun Shin as instead.
Yeah, I think Isun Shin is still not too shabby either. Okay, this is gonna be a difficult game for the side of Hong Kong China. Harley, Nepal is gonna escalate so quickly with Harley, the Juicing Paquito and Atlas rotations as well. If the Ishin Shin makes one misstep, he's gonna get busted down, and you know, Ishin Shin is basically Harley's food, right? So that's something that I feel like Hong Kong China need to play around. Hilda is a good choice. They need that tankiness, they need that hard invade as well. So yeah, now all of a sudden, you know, the Harley doesn't look as strong anymore if the Hilda is constantly invading against this Harley.
On paper, I think Nepal does have a better draft. I mean, then again, they're meta creeping. There's basically just 5 meta heroes on the tables for them. And Hong Kong China is just playing their own game. Like, hey, you know, we do have our own signature, we do have our own flavor, and we want to show the world what we're made of. And I think that bring out that Hilda in the last pick definitely has a little bit more value in terms of opening up that map, giving a little bit more reconnaissance. It might be a sacrificial lamb since now you're gonna face up against the Atlas. But for Nepal though, the Harley, fantastic pick up against 2 marksmen. The Paquito, fantastic pickup against the 2 marksmen.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a case where the EXP lane, especially with the Paquito, right, with the wave clear against the Alice, the Paquito does have the initiative to basically start rotating and start hard invading against Wang. So I feel like Hilda has definitely a lot of work to do, right? You at the same time, you gotta have to try to find to slow down Mitoya. At the same time, you also have to heal for Wang. And also at the same time, you know, there's so many things you do, but you're only just a Hilda.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with Bajusin as well, so you're gonna get picked up and tossed around like a ragdoll.
We'll see the execution though. I think for Hilda, it's not too worried. Early game, at least until the 8-minute mark before the Lord spawns up, there will be some form of reconnaissance or active vision duty that the Hilda has to play.
Hold on, Wang is on the wrong side of the map, was able to steal that away, ignoring the orange and also the... Oh, hold on, Flicker already committed by Chung as well. His shot following the same, but given aside with the Mitoya.
Immediately saw the opportunity, immediately went for it. Even Chung was used up the Flicker as well. Now, the Goon Squad is here. Nepal wants to go in for a little bit more towards Hong Kong, China, but they're straight away. And I wanted to say, Wang actually started at the top side, moved straight away to the opponent's jungle, and then start rotating towards his map. This is because Chen to rotate freely around the map.
Okay, look, I think this time around, Lilim on the Juicin, agreeable, right? Hilda is almost a non-factor. If Hilda is needed to constantly kind of babysit Law right there, all of a sudden you've got Mitoya just starting to rotate even harder as compared to Wang. Wang right now in the first turtle is not good, should not have a lot of priority because you are a Yushin Shin. You do need a lot more items, but you can farm very quickly.
I mean, that was a solid mistake from the start of Hong Kong China, but we've seen this before. Shaky start, but they really show up this time around. In a lane-to-lane matchup, though, we expected this from the get-go. Kishore is already level 4, so that's a huge power spike coming in from Kido.
Big mistake coming on the Chung. Doesn't really have level 4, doesn't have a TOR, but Law coming in, flicker backwards with the Mystic Gush. Harley will be able to take down Chan, and also the Turtle following suit as well. Wang looking like it's moving for the side of Lilip at the same time. Wang, one dog dash, but Kishore lands the jab onto the General.
There's a lot of damage from the get-go. This is precisely how Nepal wants to play their entire composition, their entire matchup. They do have that late game insurance in the form of Claude, but they're pulling the team fights away from that gold lane, giving Benet some time to farm up. But then again, this is just Ankit setting things up, slowing everyone down, freezing them if they have to. Kishore showing that damage coming through. Matoya targeting onto the back line now. Law, previous game, he was a menace. This time, he's just a little bit more wide open.
Yeah, not really, because Chong needs to charge up the TOR in order to land, but Belleric, on the other hand, I just pushed one button, and immediately it's just Law's time to shine on the Mystic Gush, right? But you have to agree, Law figuring backwards, knowing his range on his Mystic Gush, I would say is commendable, but I feel like Hong Kong China needs a lot more than Law. I think they need Zheng, they need Wang to really step up earlier just now.
100%. Kills on the table, as we learn and as we know, doesn't really tell too much of the story. Hong Kong China could still come back onto this one if they play how they played in the first game. But this time around, it's just the EXP lane's just having a tough time. Chung is just sitting on the back foot of how Kishore likes to play this. Once you get that 3 strikes, once you get that combo, Chung cannot absorb and sustain the damage coming from the Peter.
Chung is basically the punching bag of Kishore, right? And it's good, right? Kishore's just constantly landing the damage onto Chung, keeping him at bay. It reminds me of that, you know, Uranus kind of gameplay. Okay, the XP went to Kishore, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, nice jab for the side. Kishore will be able to take away, kind of slow down Wang just a little bit more. Hong Kong China on the other hand. First turtle, of course, not in your favor, but second turtle, maybe. Just maybe.
Nepal's already in position, 1,200 gold lead ahead. Hong Kong China EXP lane a little bit disrupted because Kishore is just taking control of that, just dominating and pushing Chung back. So a little bit difficult for Chung to get into position into the turtle. Anyways.
Don't forget, Chung earlier just now in the first turtle doesn't really have the TOR. He's constantly getting punched down by Kishore, has to play a little bit safer, doesn't have the EXP, and that's why Hong Kong China lost that one. And now second turtle forfeited over the side to Nepal would be able to pick it up easily.
Smart play. Don't want to risk too much at all. Zheng does have the Haas clause though. He has to watch out for the Fatal Links pull from the side of Nepal. He does have the flicker to get away, but without any purifier, that could spell a little bit of trouble from him. A little bit of adjustments from his itemizations, going straight for the defensive build instead of straight away jumping into the Berserker's Fury like he did in the previous game.
Currently, as of now, Nepal seems like they're leading the charge, especially in terms of kills, especially in terms of neutral objectives. Hong Kong China on the other hand, don't forget they're kind of like a smarter player. The Fatal Links, not very smart in terms of the housing as well. Lily picking up Chan, Binay taking down Jay. It's a massacre up top. Now the Mountain Shotgun doesn't even land a Kishore.
Yeah, they can't punish Hong Kong China. They're playing a little bit on the back foot this time around. Nepal, like I said, everything bad that could happen did happen. Oh, Law is wide and open. Might be able to get chased down.
No,
Matoya doesn't have the ulti.
Yeah, not only just that, right? Wang needs that level 15 power spike as of now. That Yushin is a non-factor over the side of Nepal. Nepal is going to be able to take it and run away like it's good money.
Yeah, but it should be a bit more passive. Don't chase, don't push too much if they want to play into the late game. The core is maybe save their turrets, save their position in lane, try to play the first at least 12 minutes in a very defensive state.
Try to catch on the Kishore right there, try to slash and dash, but hold on a second, Kishore will not be able to go away. That's going to be the first kill in the 6-minute mark. Remember, for the side of Nepal also raining out reinforcement down Bond, but it's going to be Law bursting down. I believe that was Ankit as well, placing the wet, still tickling for now.
Some signs of life from Hong Kong China. They know that Nepal's hits are split up into 2 places. They want to at least take control of the Paquito down the bottom side. This was beautiful. They lured the Zheng in, and like I said, whatever bad that could happen did happen. and it was just karma for coming in from Zheng, not taking the Purify to get out of the Fatal Links, and taking 2 members in from that top side really set things into motion. Hong Kong China do not have the woods yet though. At a core of 2,000 gold lead, at least they're coming back up ahead.
I heard a flicker right there. Team Hong Kong China will be happy for that one, right? Ankit burning away the flicker from the side of Nepal, Team Nepal. Great, no flicker Fatal Links for the next 100 seconds. So that's something that they are more than happy to take away.
I think in this stage, Hong Kong China doesn't really have to look for all these big team fights, don't have to look for these big kills, just focus on playing their own game, playing a little bit more passive than Zheng.
Oh, Zheng's taking a lot of damage, and now with the Fatal Links coming out from the side of Ankit, we'll be able to find onto Chung. Chung down low, absorbing so much damage from the side of Nepal at the same time. But Toya stepping forward as well, looking for the Chung. Chen coming in for the flank, but he's going to constantly get it picked up by the side of Lilith. Chen cannot find an entry point.
It's very to their MO. They have 5 members down the bottom side. They're sending Paquito and learning from their mistakes on the previous game. Hey, we also need to play the macro game. Hong Kong China just not really caring too much about that team fights. There's not too much backup. They sacrifice Chung, but it's all scripted.
Mountain Shocker already committed. That's going to be the body from the side of Ankit going away. Wang firing that Mountain Shocker, but unable to find any form of catch. Hong Kong China does have a bit of a pushed down bot. I think that's just the consolation prize.
They'll get what they have. Honestly though, goal difference not too wide. Next major objective really coming up in 30 seconds. There's going to be a Lord take, and this is where the big fights will take place. Zheng is coming online with the damage, with the burst potential from himself. Chen
finding onto Chen as well, the blazing duet, also onto Bene, the flicker, also commit the pushing, Law, and also one out of commission. Chen will be able to find Kishore though, Lilith find onto Law. 2 members from the side of Hong Kong China down, but that's going to be a trade for the side of Nepal, but Bitoya has something else. Hold on second, Zheng! We'll be trying to find the equalize, the flicker committed form, Lilith, Zheng also repeating the same, but the Sky Piazza catches onto him. Chiong, members from the side of Hong Kong China down, just Chen.
Greedy on that last play. Zheng could have survived and just went back and just free farm on the side lanes. But to kick things off, Kishore Matoya immediately went towards Law. The Gourd has to be taken out. That is their main objective. Take a look at the replay. Benet straight away. Wherever Wang is, wherever Law is, let's just make them a non-factor, push them away. Once the Mystic Gush is out of commission, that's it. It's free and easy for Nepal to free roam around.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to sidestep a laser if you are Binay. Blazing Duet at the same time does a lot of damage in that circle, and Law this time around doesn't really have doesn't really have well, technically speaking, a TOR or a Bellering ultimate to basically lock people down for the side of Nepal, and that's where Hong Kong China is finding a lot of trouble to land the damage from Law onto Nepal.
From that lead cut that Hong Kong China has created for themselves, down to 400 gold lead, back again to almost 2,000 gold.
That's not a good place for you to be in Fatal Links. Oh man, you're just free food over the side of Nepal. Lilith, another Sky Piercer stack as well. Binay taking a lot of damage from the side of Mountain Shocker, but Wang has to back off. Nepal still solid around the Lord Pit.
The layering from Nepal is extremely strong. There needs to be a way to body block that. Chung is not the answer. He's not too thick as of now. Chen is just single target. When they want to build up against a sort of like a teamfight composition, you're sort of a anti-synergy between the TOR as well as the Hilda. Now, Hilda has already reached that tipping point where it's not really too much of a big factor because any one of the members could easily chase down Chan and make that Hilda pay and punish him for getting a little bit too close. Hong Kong China does have a little bit wave clear potential, so playing defensively, playing that passive game would be their way to win.
I feel that's exactly what I was talking about, right? Chan on this Hilda, I need to see him starting to dominate in the early game. If not, this is exactly what's going to happen, right? I feel like what Hong Kong China can potentially play is using Chan's ultimate to combo against Tor. Why?
Big resources already used up.
No flicker burn away by the side of Nepal as well.
Yeah, Lord also marching down the bottom side. So if there is a base rush from the side of Nepal, Hong Kong China cannot defend against this one.
Yeah, this is massive mistakes that Nepal will be able to capitalize from that one at the same time. Burning away the Tor from the side of Chong is absolutely wonderful. And now it's just Nepal setting up. Mountain Shocker, commit and Fatal Links will not be able to catch. But unfortunately, Wang will be doing that. Mountain Shocker landing down will be able to catch onto Ankit as well. Members on the side of Nepal has to back off.
Spoke a little bit too soon. They just drew them in underneath their base. Hong Kong China does have that damage coming in, but then they don't have that tankability in their front line. They cannot fight outside of their base. There's their only win condition. Try to draw in the team fights towards their base, towards a little bit more defensive position, because remember, if you're fighting underneath the turret, you have a little bit more base defense and a little bit more defenses into your own statistics. So for Nepal, though, they don't want to make these kinds of divey mistakes. Very high committal. You don't really have a lot of escape potential. You're using the flickers, going in for the fatal links, and even if Hong Kong China doesn't have that Purify, you're going to be stuck in a spot.
Yep. Don't forget, Hong Kong China does have the double marksman kind of thing. If one mistake from the side of Nepal, two marksmen will be able to push turrets very quickly. That's a lot. Standing gold, there's only like, what, 5k gold lead in the favor of Nepal. Easily shut down if, you know, Hong Kong China starts tearing away turrets.
I would agree to disagree. Matoya, Kishore, they are marksman killers. They're basically deployed there just to shut the marksman down as the assassin. So the backline is definitely in shambles. Chen and Chung needs to build pure defense. It does fatal links.
Oh, another fatal links onto Chen. I feel like I've seen this before. Chen was able to absorb the deadly magic though. No, Chen at the very least still stays in the game for now as Hong Kong China sieges mid.
Oh, they left the mid side wide open. So I think that's a mistake on Nepal's part. I felt like they should push and engage towards a team fight during that period instead of trying to force a fight onto Chen in the bottom side.
On the trucker, does charge up, will be able to find onto Ankin. The fatal links, I think it kind of was channeling, but he gets busted down, and all of a sudden, the Lord swings over the side of Hong Kong China's favor.
Oh, one misplay down to the bottom side river. And look at Chen pushing Lilin back. They can't even get close.
Chen as well, and not a sinker. The Blazing Duet, Wang will be able to secure the Lord for now. Never mind, we sacrifice the gold laner, but at the very least, we buy some time for the Lord. Kishore would be able to try to do the damage on the Chen, but members from the side of Nepal reinforcing, taking down Chen.
Now with Nepal having that sizable lead, I felt like they should have just stayed in the upper side of that map, try to take control of the jungle, try to take all the resources away. Hong Kong China having free roam down to the bottom side and having Wang in that push, that's super questionable,
look,
Jace.
Level 15 power spike, right? At the very least, you know, Wang...
What?
Exactly! Level 15 power spike usage in churros.
This is just crazy.
This train.
This is just crazy because Nepal had so much lead from the get-go, and suddenly Hong Kong China having free roam of the entire map. They're just everywhere. Wang was just sitting heavily on that bush, and he's just super comfortable, even though Chen and Chung dies. Now I take back my words, because now you don't really need a tank because you're sustaining and you're healing everything back up with the assassin emblem as well.
Look, if you watch the NA league, region, right, he who should not be named is right there.
He should not be named.
But I mean, like, Wang is just gonna have just really work it out right now. The way that Hong Kong China is just slowly solving this Rubik's Cube. It may not be a speed cube, but it is working.
You have to threat lightly, don't TOR?
TOR, but it lands onto 3, and immediately Law unleashes the gush onto Mitoya. But hold on a second, Hong Kong China starting to lose the stability just a little bit. 3 members from the side of the ball going down. It's also going to be Kishore coming in for the flank at the same time. But Milim trying to land down the dream on the Paul, delivers a triple kill.
Extremely punishing play for Hong Kong China. I felt like Wang could have just got out. The Sky Piercer stacks from Lilim is just too much. 9-0 and 5. That's 4 stacks and a half for Lilim with 0 kills on the board. Look, you don't ever just chase a juice in like that. But to kick things off, I felt like Chung, that was the best play of the game so far. There's a 3-man stun up, so much damage. Law identified that Matoya came in. Even though not for him, he flickered back and out of the way. That was Benet targeting onto Wang. They know that things are in session. Zhang with the ball. That was just a lucky strike onto a Claw when he just BMI'd back all the way.
Look, Lilim does have the Crimson Beacon as well, right? Members on the side of Hong Kong China just follows. Don't forget, that Sky Beside for the side Lilim should be maxed out right now.
Okay, so for Hong Kong China, one thing they should do is never make the same mistake twice. I feel like they still have kind of free reign, quote unquote, over the entirety of that map. So if Nepal doesn't take control and understand and get the intelligence of where Hong Kong China is at all times, they're going to lose their lead. They're going to get turned around.
Yeah, look, the lead was, what, 5k goalie in the favor of Nepal. Right now, it's starting to dwindle. That's exactly what I was talking about, right? 1.3k, you have double marksman on the other side of Hong Kong China. They can rip apart structures. Hong Kong China has proven themselves very smart when it comes to these kind of gameplay. And now Nepal, this is going to be a very important lot. If they lose this one, Hong Kong China will strike.
You have Paquito on the top side. Don't know where the Paquito is. They knew that they were taking care of that top side, but in any case, the Fatal Links would be able to land.
Oh,
they
man.
see, they get a sense of it.
Wang, Mountain Shaka already reveals the position of the side of Kishore as well, and all of a sudden Nepal has to give a wide breath away, just waiting for the Mountain Shaka to deactivate, but the Lord still being pulled by the side of Hong Kong, China.
Great reset on the bottom side.
Sure.
Lane is already pushing in. There's TR.
TR will be able to L3, Law reposition onto the Mystic Gush, but Lilin will be still able to find the damage onto Cheong at the same time. Kishore finding onto Law, but Wang comes in with a Vinay, but Lilin, the Sky Piercer, pierces through Hong Kong, China, one after another.
There might have been a misplay coming in from Hong Kong, China.
They
Right from the bottom
underestimated.
side, the TOR nicely read by Nepal, especially Binay. Binay was in a spot bother, but before he went down, immediately threw down the Blazing Duet. He knows that it can't be cancelled by the TOR. At least he got some damage off of Chong. And now, you leave that Paquito wide open. That was a big, big mistake from Hong Kong, China's part. They were chasing the Kishore out of the way, but they totally forgot that the Paquito was on that side, found the flank onto Law. And even when the TOR was at, was laid down, Law was not in the right position. He had to utilize a flicker just to reach that gush. Look at where Law is right now. Kishore is right open, got that free kill, and then the Fatal Links as a counter re-engage. That's something that I think Hong Kong, China cannot make the same mistake of. Very, very counter engageable.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, I really have to agree. Law needs to use the flicker to reposition to get land down
away defensively.
Defensively, but he's using it offensively. He has no choice. If he doesn't land down the damage from the side on the paw, he's Hong Kong, China is going to get cooked, right? But apart from that, I feel like Hong Kong, China is also starting to underestimate the power of the Sky Piercer Lilim. He is rocking, I believe, with 80s, with full stacks right now.
That's going to be a full build for almost everyone. It's got a fleeting time as well for Ankit to... Oh!
There we go, bushwhack position. While, you know, Hong Kong, China plays this kind of bushwhack position, that's something that at the very least, a bit of a consolation prize. The Lord is still in the base. For the side of Hong Kong, China, 2 lanes open in the favor of Nepal as Nepal backs away. They lost Kishore.
Great find onto the Paquito. This opens up a little bit of the map for Hong Kong, China to try to dive in. They don't really have to watch their 6 anymore because Paquito is out for at least another 20 seconds. Lord going to spawn up in 120, so that's going to be enough time for Kishore to come back. So a little bit more base defense. I feel like they do have the kit to defend against one more skirmish.
Yep, I think this next Lord is going to be very important for both of these two teams. Hong Kong, China, almost finding onto Mitoya. Will be able to get away scot-free, but Wang burn off a little bit too much resources and almost his life. He's
going to heal everything back up, but what a read from Wang. I feel like they should have known that the bush was occupied by the Harley, and that was a very risky play. I think they wanted to find out and wanted to take control of that map. Right now, Paquito's back into the picture. Hong Kong, China, down into the jungle. Very risky position they're in. As much as, you know, they're pushing both side lanes, this Paquito has free reign on that top side. Hong Kong, China has to play together as 5. They do have a team fight composition, very heavily reliant on Chung's landing of the TOR, Law following up with the Mystic Gush, but that opens up that vulnerability spot from the backside.
Yep, look, we are already at 60k gold territory, right? Items, technically speaking, is about how you build them. It's not whether you have the items or not. And apart from that, it's also how you position yourself in these team fights. Now, Cheong's TOR has been critical for the past 2 team fights, but Lilim is just there. It's just so big. Don't forget, the Sky Piercer stack, I would say, is worth at least 2 to 3 items, especially when it's maxed. Cheng will not be able to find the damage onto Jang. Will be able to just at least dismantle, but a lot of flicker already committed by the side of Hong Kong, China. I'm starting to fear just a little bit. Lilim is already going in. Massive, but Mitoya coming in. And it's now going to be Wang trying to wave clear this one very quickly. Mitoya focusing fire onto the core. This is going to be a base rush. Wang denies his Mitoya. But then again, the members, what is our Hong Kong, China losing 1 member in the main fight earlier just now.
Great defense. Hong Kong, China might be able to turn this around. They still have Zheng and Wang, but they're facing up against a 14-kill Lilim. The Lord is wide open. Ankit already has Fatal Links back up and ready to go.
Don't forget, Mitoya is down, but don't forget about Kishore. Kishore can also do the same as well. China's the first sacrifices up for that kill, giving the kill over the side of Lilim once again. Hong Kong, China losing 3 members earlier, and that's going to be a 50-second kill, well, downtime. And for the side of Chan, Hong Kong, China is just throwing bodies at the problem, hoping that they can solve the problem.
Well, time bot for Nepal. Matoya will come up in time. They will have free reign of this lord. So they're probably going to blitz this down. Even the Mountain Shocker won't be able to do anything. Lilin is such a beast right now.
Okay. I saw the Mountain Shocker coming in from Wang.
No,
he's not gonna attempt it, right?
That was the old Yisun Shin that we were thinking of.
No. Like, he could actually swoop in with the Mountain Shocker, try to steal the Lord away, but he's too far. Kishore was a threat over the side of Hong Kong, China. The fact is, if Kishore showed himself all the way up there, Hong Kong, China needs 2 members to deal with Kishore at this point in time.
To be honest, this could turn out much worse if Wang didn't recall before anything went even worse. If Matoya wanted to throw everything in position, might have just sold every single item, buy 6 different Windtalkers in order to burst that base down, but Wang was just way too strong at this point. Can't manhandle a level 15 full build Yisun Shin. Right now, the base defense will come in. Hong Kong, China, this is their last shot.
That's gonna be it. Mitoya finding onto the dead magic onto Wang. Wang hides in the base for now. TOR try to land, but Binay responds. Binay is all placed into Wang and with the crowd, trying to also absorb so much damage. Remember, Hong Kong, China does have a bit of the defender's advantage, but Lennon is there to shut one after another. Nepal equalizes against Hong Kong, China.
The first 2 games, an absolute banger. In the first game, Hong Kong, China was way too dominant. We all thought like, hey, Nepal had no shot. In the entirety of the first two days, it was generally 2-0s all across the board. This time around, Nepal really showing up, and they're such an even fight. It was a push and pull. There were some things definitely that Nepal could have improved on. They had such a lead. They should have just held on to the lead, cycle Hong Kong, China at the very least, or take control of the jungle so that they don't prance around all willy-nilly anytime they want. A little bit of a counter engage from Nepal could spell disaster for Hong Kong, China. I mean, so a lot of learning points from that game.
And look, it could go both ways, right?
Yeah.
There is a chance because Yisun Shin has farmed up, so it has already hit critical mass, and then all of a sudden you also have, you know, if members from the team Hong Kong, China starts picking up Nepal one after another, especially Mitoya, and also to a certain extent, you know, the TOR start coming in really clutch, but the Blazing New and Winter Crown wombo combo coming in for this Claude is working wonders, especially at the last fight. And don't forget the Skypiercer.
Nepal had a beautiful draft. Lilim had an incredible game. And I was always sussing out, hey, you know, Jusin's open, why not pick it up? Last game, it wasn't picked up at all. Lilim, your MVP of the game, 17! 0-6.
He's going diving. He's scubaing.
Not only that, you have so much defense coming in from the Jusin as well. So hard to take down. I mean, and that's a lucky number, 88% participation as well.
I mean, he's more than happy to just dive into these team fights, right? If you notice, his Crimson Beacon's on point, his Skypiercer, that's max stack. He's scuba dancing all the way onto Team Hong Kong, China earlier just now because, man, he's just... Who fed him?
Yeah, hard to reach, hard to take down. He's healing everything back up. You got the slows, you got the Skypiercer. Once you reach a critical mass, basically you're just decimated and you're out of here.
Look, can I interest you with this new item on the market? Skypiercer and Max Stacks, right? Man. You can see how Hong Kong China is trying to shut this Lilim down, but the Brace might come in clutch. The shields from the Crimson Beacon coming in clutch. Then they forgot about Binay, they forgot about Kishore, they forgot Mitoya. They also have Hansu. They're throwing it against Hong Kong China. And unfortunately, there was a bit of opportunity for the side of Hong Kong China to really bounce back, but Chan is just giving himself way too much over the side of Lilim.
To be honest though, that one team fight at the bottom side where Wang was way too hyper greedy and tried to take down Lilim. I mean, I don't fault him. Lilim was like 1-2 hits away. Yeah. But the Skypiercer was just way too much. Like immediately once he reached that, I feel like 12%, 10% of his health immediately just gone. He didn't have any time to escape, didn't have any time to do that much damage to come even close. Lilim also got the ultimate on as well, so dealing constant damage, a lot of mobility coming in from the Jusin as well. And so I think mistakes were made for Hong Kong, China, Nepal had an incredible game. Definitely learning points from not giving up the jungle too much, but I feel like this is even Stevens for both teams.
Yeah, I think even though, you know, Hong Kong, China taking an L right here, but they've shown their how they are able to climb all the way to second seed is not just from sheer micro, it is sheer macro. And knowing when the power spikes are, they strike, they try to buy time from each other, and then after that, you know, they play the map. Like, there's a couple of times where I was hoping the bushwhack kind of thing that we saw in game number 1 appearing in game number 2. Earlier time, we saw that on Mitoya twice. Second time, Mitoya was smart, was able to disengage from that one, so that's okay. But had that bushwhack appear over and over and over again, I would say that's it. Once Hong Kong, China was able to pick off Nepal, that's it. But Nepal, on the other hand, that Juicin was the MVP. That Juicin was the one that saved and held Nepal's dream.
I would say the Juicin just played a heck of a game. It's so
It
hard
was-
to take that down.
Yeah.
But not only that, I feel like the entire draft was just learning from game number 1. Game number 1, Hong Kong, China had a really strong backline. A strong backline damage and burst capability. You got the Gore, you got the Bruno, and they're playing the Gore and Bruno again. So why not? Hey, let's just pick up a double marksman assassin kind of combination. You have the Paquito right now. You also have the Harley. So your backline's not safe. It's much more, I would say, easier to execute than if you have a Yu Zhong in the picture, where you're flying in the sky and you're getting shot down by missiles from the ground, and you have to revert again. You're going in, you're dealing that damage, and then you're getting the heck out of there. So for Nepal, the meta creep this time around worked out well for them.
I also feel like the Hilda pick was great on paper, I would say.
I would say the Yoda Grid was great for the first at least 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but that at least the first 5 minutes is where the Harley truly shines, right? You really need to find a way to slow down. Exactly what I said during the draft, right? I feel that the Hilda is a kind of poor thing. He needs Kagebushi no Jutsu, right? Being able to just the Hilda needs to cover everywhere. Not only just the fact that you have to peel for Yushin Shin, you also need to poke at the Harley as well. You also need to start scouting out the map at the same time, but you have a Juicin. The Juicin is constantly, when Chan is just the Hilda is just charging against at the Juicin earlier just now, all the Juicin has to do is just land down the damage, pick that Hilda away, and just throw you aside. And don't forget, now, of course, 2 patches ago, the Juicin deals more damage, especially after she throws a tank onto Squishy. And don't forget, you got a Yushin Shin, you got a Bruno.
It's just difficult to get even remotely close to the Juicin at that point. The Clock of Destiny, that build was precisely designed to keep Juicin alive while dealing a lot of DOT. DOT is the issue that tore them down, not the burst potential. And yes, I agree with you. The Bruno as well as the Yushin Shin does have the burst potential, but they're always very into deep into starting the team fights first. They're starting to engage us first. This results very badly on them because of the Atlas coming into the picture.
Yeah, Atlas is that counter dive, right?
Their
If you
counter
notice.
dive, yeah.
If you notice, like how no matter how Chan was trying, I feel like they do have kind of that idea earlier just now, like using the Hilda to lock somebody down, and then after that, Law follows up with the laser. But like I said, it's just too many things for the Hilda to do, and it's just super hard to basically pull off that combo, right? As we go into the game of 3, it seems like we're going to the Flying Cloud.
Oh, my favorite environment once again. But circling back to the Hilda and what worked in the early game, I feel like a lot of teams are experimenting with starting with the neutral creep buff instead of the color buffs. So this could be a bit of an adjustment issue, especially for the junglers.
Okay.
Pathing issues or rotation-wise, that really doesn't really make a lot of sense. We saw the side of Hong Kong, China doing the early game aggression, but it wasn't really supported by Chan coming in. But second phase of the game, let's see how they adjust.
Yeah, let's take a look at the bands right here, Churros. Hong Kong and China going up against Nepal. This is game number 3. Am I always cussing with you? And we always go to game number 3. This is already the second match.
Like I said, 21 game gauntlet, but now Paquito being banned out alongside the 2 tanky boys, and then the Freya and the Marcel's coming
I
in.
hate you and love you at the same time.
Yeah.
This is the love-hate relationship.
Well, hey, everyone wants to see 3 games. Let's go for 3. Right now, I think Juicin is open. Hong Kong, China, if they're smart, really want to pick that one up straight away. The Guinevere. Oh yeah, yeah. Guinevere was wide open.
Yeah, I feel like if you notice as you watch other regions, right, there's different priorities when it comes to their own heroes, right? Even though, yes, we watch a lot of MPO Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, these are your most watched regions as well, right? They are the ones that kind of dictating the meta as of now. But I feel like when you go to other regions like this, like Hong Kong, China, and Nepal, their priorities is a little bit different as compared. So I think it's not fair to kind of apply what we know of the meta here. And of course, you know, Juicin, Nepal was able to pull off great earlier just now. It seems like they're not going for it, even themselves in the R1, R2 pick.
I like your point. Honestly, though, I feel like it's the way that they see the game would definitely be different. But this is still East versus South Asia, which is quite interesting because I don't think they've been playing together before. This is one of the first few times that we've seen Hong Kong China in the stage as well. The Beleric comes through once again, around with Bruno. This is the first game that we've seen. This pretty much the same draft, but
it's almost the same draft.
Different.
Different order. Yeah, different pick order. I think if you're Coach Kenji right now, you know what's up. You're expecting the Gord to come out. You're expecting, you know, the something in the EXP. I believe that was a Lapu Lapu as well for the side of Hong Kong China to come out as well. So Nepal, what is their take? I think easy, low-hanging fruit, ban away the Gord. Easy job, right? But there's also other bursty mages that could also benefit from the Beleric, like the Farsa, if you want to go for that route at the same time. You also got the Lilia, right, to also benefit off as well. There's so much CCs. And I would say something, I will give you a crazy idea, number one of the day. Nepal, if they haven't picked up the Atlas, they can even go for Diggy, right? It just denies what the Beleric wants to do and the Guinevere wants to do.
But Diggy wouldn't work. I mean, both roams were already picked up. But the Beleric was actually just baiting in. You want to do a counter skirmish kind of gameplay. Alice goes in with Fatal Links, and then you throw it on the Wrath Dryad, and you're throwing everyone in. And Nepal hasn't picked their fighters yet, so it's yet to be seen. I'll do you one though. I feel like Nepal doesn't want to ban out the Gord because they want to force that Gord in because they found a way to deal with the Gord. It became a norm factor in the game number 2.
Yeah, but that's game number 2, right? With the Ishinchin and the Hilda. But this time around, Hong Kong China is packing the Guinevere and the Beleric as well. So this is when, you know, it enables the Gord a lot. I would say that Nepal, if they are kind of concerned, I think just ditch the Gord, we reset the board just a little bit, and we go in fresh, right? Game mode 3 is when, you know, this is gonna be very important. Don't forget, you know, Hong Kong China is currently leading in 2nd seed. Nepal on the other hand, 4th seed. If Nepal takes this one, it's gonna shift the group stage, a lot.
Yeah, tough. I don't want to think about the rankings because it's going to be a mess as of now. Nepal, though, I do want to point out that, hey, this is the first of 2 series that they're going to play. And the fact that this is their 3rd game of the first series.
So there's a lot of opportunities for Nepal to show, right? So every point matters. In fact, game number 3 is going to be very important for them. And now there's going to be Yuzhong Ban coming out from the side of Nepal.
I would say it's strange because I feel like Nepal in this stage would be better in banning out. Yeah, then I agree with you. Ban out the Gord and pick up the Yuzhong for yourself.
Maybe.
But then maybe the Valentina actually comes up, and then Hong Kong China actually picks up the Valentina. So you not only get the Wrath of Dryad, you also get the Fatal Links. You get the double reach because of the double dash.
Oh, why not? Why not? Oh, okay.
You're not playing the Gord.
Hong Kong China self-bans the Gord instead, throwing a bit of a... At the very least, throws the plan for the side of Nepal out of the window. Means that at the very least, Nepal now knows that they're going to go into a bit of a surprise in the B4 and B5 pick. If you are Nepal right now, do you pick your mid here or do you pick your EXP here?
I'll go straight Valentina immediately. At least I do have the Beleric's ulti and the Atlas ulti. So I feel like the high priority right now for the mid lane would be the Valentina. You have early game clear with the Beleric and the Atlas per se. Great rotation speed down the mid lane, mid game as well. And you get double the ulti.
Yeah. Couple of seconds left on the clock for this one. What's Coach Kenshi gonna lock in?
Farsa.
Gonna be the Farsa coming in. Pairs well with the Atlas. And also strong early game, right? Technically speaking, a Farsa, if you play it right in the early game, she's not an artillery mage yet. She's an assassin.
Yeah.
If you play it right.
I was teasing this for the previous series. And right now, we won't see the Valentina at all.
Eve.
It would have been interesting, though, but it's back to the age-old artillery versus artillery.
Still, it's the same it's the same game plan as game number 1, right? We lock everybody in the box. Now, not only just the box that Hong Kong China is going to build for
You
them.
have the roots. You're planting the roots.
They got circles, they got a smaller circle, and they've got a long rectangle.
Just because
and
I started
balls.
with saying hypotenuse, and then you were like, okay, I was
Geometry.
thinking geometry.
Geometry.
Well, you know, my middle name is a mathematician as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, we don't say that on stream. So back to the draft.
Oh, really?
Terizla gets picked up right here.
What's the formula for to solve x in quadratic equation?
Is it the plus minus?
The plus minus one, yeah.
Yeah, plus minus.
So I like the fact that
The-
we, even on Asian Games esports events or MLBB qualifiers, we are still giving education, not only just in MLBB, but also preparing for your O levels.
Hey, I'll do you one. If you go into the game and you see like, okay, you know, the damage counters coming up, you're like, okay, this damage is coming in from the 25% damage from the War Axe, and then the Hughes factor coming in, and you calculate the damage from there. How do you want that?
I think that needs differentiation. I need calculus for that.
But hey, you know, we're just gonna watch the game. We're gonna enjoy the last game,
Yeah,
and this potentially the
Dude.
last game for Hong Kong in Group D.
Dude, we forgot to talk about Terizla. We were just so caught up. But now, you know, now on top of the fatal links, you got the penalty zone as well to lock somebody down. That is somebody who got locked down by the penalty zone and the fatal link is not gonna have a good day.
You know, there's so many combos that both these teams can play out. So I'm going to take the next 5 minutes just talking about that as well. We'll start off with, you know, Hong Kong, China. You got the Guinevere, you got the box, you've got the triangles, you've got the circles, you've got the hexagons, you got the polygons,
Hexagon?
and everything coming in.
Where's the hexagon? Which one?
Let's see what I can throw it out with. But anyways, you know, to my point, you're setting things down. You're playing around a kill zone. This is Hong Kong's meta, Hong Kong's MO.
Yep.
For Nepal though, this is slightly different. You're going in with the fatal links. You're coming in with artillery strikes. You're following up the penalty zone. So it's all circles for the side of Nepal, including Blazing Duet.
Hey, even Ankit can have a band diagram of circles as well. Don't forget, once he goes into a perfect match, right? Landing the first kill as well slows down. There's a lot of wide range where it's getting frigid. Oh, hold on a second. Wang jumping on. Lilith will not. One more tick will do the trick, but Hong Kong China doesn't find it.
The burn won't find its mark. Lilim still up and alive for now. Very risky play though. They know that they're not around, so Lilim can just clear up, get a little bit of economy before heading back. So good call for Nepal, trying to suss out a little bit more information. But Hong Kong China's mid lane duo dealing so much damage just with one jump from CJ Wang. That is the power of the Guinevere.
Yeah. I think, you know, Hong Kong China feels like they've kind of found their mojo again. Game number 2. Oh, Lord, Flicker. He's scared.
A little bit panicky on desperate times. Call for desperate measures, man. You don't want to make any wrong moves at all.
But Flicker like that when there's no threats just to get over the wall.
Speaking of threats, though, you have the engage.
A bit of engage. Wang got caught, but that's just a spatial migration for now. Mitoya landing down that melee magic onto Wang for now. Healed up by Chan. Revitalized, committed by the time Hong Kong, China. Massive resources already committed even before the first turn of fight.
Very smart rotation and pathing from Hong Kong, China. They know that Chung needs to go down to the bottom side of the right side of the tri-bush to try to deny Kishore from coming in. Right now, Mitoya can't even get close to the objectives. I feel like with the current lineup that they have, Wang does have an easier time taking the turtle objectives. Mitoya is just going to give it up.
The reason why Nepal wasn't able to take the or even challenge the objective is because Mitoya is already committed to the deadly magic. Lilim doesn't have level 4 as of yet because of that that burst, but real world manipulation. Hong Kong China does have the ultimate for himself, laying down onto Lilim. Force the wings by wings.
Yeah, CJ Wang is just in the vicinity, but I don't think they want to commit to this one. Both marksmen on the fighter emblems. Oh, hold on a second.
But extra committed, but at the same time, Wang jumping onto Ankit first blood, given on the side of Law already on this Yves.
There's law and order for this part. Good find by Wang as well on the top side. Both marksmen have the fighter emblem, so definitely sustain will be there.
Mitoya will be able to find onto Zheng as well. Wang getting pushed out, and find the Requiem at the last minute onto Mitoya at the same time. Ankit does not have the fatal links, doesn't have level 4 yet. Only just taking out all the way there. Nepal is in an EXP deficit.
Good find, good chase, good damage, good punish. Onto Mitoya, can't even get close. Now Zheng is in a tough spot.
Okay, the Venn diagram will be able to catch onto the fatal links. Catch nothing but air. Nepal, that's not how you want to come back in game number 3.
A little bit too desperate in this measures for Nepal, though.
Real world manipulation as well, just to zone, just to provide Zheng with even more gold energy. Binay doesn't have the Blazing Duet as well. BMI already committed just to get all the way back. Hong Kong, China, this is a dominant early game. Nepal is making a few massive...
Oh, they know!
No! Oh, Kishore! Oh, the bushwhack, it comes back.
Beautiful find. Honestly though, Wang is just optimizing this farming so much. He's one level ahead of Mitoya, 2 kills ahead, but that doesn't really tell the whole story. Now they know Zheng doesn't have the flicker, he's trying to rush for it. I think they want to blitz it down.
Binay already using the Blazing Duet to no avail, right? Zheng is easily going to heal everything all the way back up. Hong Kong, China has solid control in the total priority. Mitoya is not even like a mile away. Forfeits that away. Nepal has no choice but to look to scale to late. But Lilim on his Farsa needs early game kills to be relevant.
I do agree. Kishore though, again.
Oh. Circus Warrior already committed by Cheong. Flickered. Good trade. Ooh. Lilim, oh, land down onto the damage as well. There's gonna be the ramp for the Dryad as well. Chen in a spot of trouble. 3 members tagging onto him, but Chen is soaking so much damage, buying a lot of time for Law. Real world manipulation pushes Ankit away.
There's 3 members up on the top side. Staying a little bit too long, Lilim.
The Void Crystal's almost catching onto Lilim as well. Has to use Wing by Wings and the Flicker just to get away.
You know, in Southeast Asia, we usually say, oh, hey, what's this?
What am I watching?
It's just Brawl right here. Finding any open window of opportunity to take someone down, they're going for it. Take a look at where Wang is at this point.
Okay, Jack took a little bit too much from the Deadly Magic. Chan going on the chase, but you can start to see the level deficit from the side of Nepal is starting to hurt them. Hong Kong, China also, you know, pushing down bot will be able to have an open lane against Nepal as we take a look at their items.
Yeah, Wang is just sitting heavily down on the jungle side, just doing fishing, or should I say, just jumping in and catching the fish herself. Just because, you know, this is basically an assassin Guinevere. To be honest though, I think this entire game is just both these teams just opening and playing pickoff. There is not a lot of, you know, macro going on as of this point. Both these T1s are taken down, at least from the top side and bottom for both these teams. But then any opportunity they see, they're go in.
Oh man, the Valeric is just doing wonders against Binay. Binay is actually hitting and hurting himself more often, and here comes the fatal leg, but Wang fighting onto Mitoya with the Valeric whim, and it goes down, leg by Zheng's footballs.
Not only do they have to fight against a football, they have a big Wang to fear against it as well. Man.
Nepal did a very good showing game number 2. I am not too sure where the momentum goes. And now Kishore flank getting cut off by Wang and Cheong. And this combo coming out from Hong Kong, China, it feels like they practiced for this one. Hold on a second, Fred, the airstrike as well. Real world manipulation already committed by the side of Hong Kong, China. Ability will be able to find the shot out to Wang. Kishore goes all the way back. This could be the time for China for the ball to also do something. But Mitoya a little bit too far ahead. But also Cheong also will be able to find onto a Wang. Man, what a brawl it's coming up for these 2 teams.
Trade for trade, blow for blow. They see an opportunity, they pounce.
The flicker used to position aggressively.
And it's all 5 on 5. I think building and drafting this entire lineup, it's just any opportunity you see, just jump straight in.
Yeah.
And I think this is precisely what these 2 teams are doing. Hong Kong, China eventually just still up ahead, 4,400 gold lead. Taking a look at replays, this is just a defensive measure from Nepal, trying to take a move. Kishore start things off with a nice penalty zone. Ankit doesn't have the fatal links, used it a little bit too early, or just holding on for dear life. He flickered in. I think in the last moment, he doesn't have the ultimate. He flickered in to sacrifice himself. I'm not sure why he did that, but I think just buying time for Nepal to come back in.
Look, this Valeric pick is the one that's keeping Nepal humble. Binay couldn't afford to jump in with the Blazing Duet because of Chen that could just instantly create, and all of a sudden Binay is just hurting himself, right? And not only just that, Nepal on the other hand, Lilim, the Feather Airstrike is great and nice and dandy, but the problem is, you only have 4 shots. Real world manipulation lasts longer and also zones and also deny and does a lot of damage. So now Hong Kong, China, 5k goalie in the favor, they also take down the Lord for themselves.
Yeah, for Hong Kong, China, I still feel like they do have the upper hand in terms of the late game advantage. The setup potential from Nepal really just comes in from Ankit. Lilim does have adequate amounts of damage, but not as much as a full stack 17 kill kind of juice in with additional utility support. Lilim is just there for just pure burst, and it might not be enough in the uber late game because KK Chan is just right there, and it's a direct counter towards the Claude pick that Nepal has built upon themselves.
It's gonna be tough. When I feel like the Belleric was the key pivot. That's why, you know, going in B3 pick, I believe also it's an R1 pick for the Claude. Immediately counted away. I think what Vinay could also try to do right now is to start, harvest side lanes. That's the only way that you can do. And of course, one can just jump onto you and just bust you down as of now.
It's still kind of greedy, right? You want to give adequate amount of farms to Lilin. That is the corrosion side being built up by Benet. Maybe having the full Holy Trinity. Hopefully we see the itemizations too. But the top side already, the Lord will be marching down. Nepal does have base defense capabilities for now.
Dude, Mitoya is level 10. And Chan is level 10. The enemy jungler is your jungler is the same as the enemy roam in terms of levels. All of a sudden, that denies you from a lot of neutral objectives as well. And you know, it's just Hong Kong China delivering a almost perfect game number 3, right? Game number 2 was maybe them just trying a bit of luck, just a little bit with the Hilda, but now they're back in game number 3.
So, taking a look at itemizations, you see the Belleric already building the Chastis, Aldrin as well. So, reducing the attack speed coming in from not only the Claude, but the Harley as well, because you have the additional 1-2 strikes before you jump back into your former hat. But Benet still doesn't have the full Holy Trinity. It's just 2 out of 3 of the 4 items. There's not enough damage as of now, but who does have damage is Lim, able to keep that the turret at bay for now.
Lilim is just using the feather airstrike just to wave clear. You can see it landing onto Chen. Chen's just laughing it off. Usually you expect the Farsa feather airstrike to be an airstrike, but this is just what? It's just rain.
Well, I think that for this stage, Hong Kong China does not have any room for error, or they don't really have any ways to make big errors, unless Ankit just really wants to just jump right in, or they just dive in. As long as Hong Kong China just plays it safe, wait for the Lord, and then do that whole Lord 2-minute cycle, Lord 2-minute cycle, I feel like they can just win this out. If they just commit, that's where Atlas can just capitalize, pull everyone back with the Fatal Links. If they draw Nepal out, this is where they really shine. They're so far ahead. They're able to taunt everyone up with the Belleric themselves. Zhang has that damage already. That's the Trinity for the crit Trinity already built for the Bruno as well.
Yeah, and the fact that Hong Kong China is not even hard pushing until the last minute of Lord. This is perfect textbook in terms of macro play, right? You draw Nepal out, especially when they're 7k gold lead behind. You catch onto somebody, you burst him down, and after that you just snowball, right? You starve Nepal all the way out. You deny the farm for Binay. This is just 101 ABC macro textbook. Yeah.
I do have to agree with you. Ankit in a very interesting position right here. Doesn't have a lot of support from Nepal. Wang does know where Ankit is at that time.
It's a bit too far. Perfect match already committed. Wang already focusing down on the Lord at the same time. Zhang using it. Wang doesn't even need the retribution at all.
The issue is Matoya doesn't have the free roam and versatility that the Yisung Shin had in game number 2. I remember at this point of time, Hong Kong China was still fighting their way out of their base to try to sit heavily onto the bushes, play the bushwhack combos, albeit a little bit different in terms of draft. I feel like Nepal should find ways to try to push in the waves, try to at least get some form of reconciliation. Hong Kong China is not going to make mistakes. They're not going to leave their mid lane wide open. They're not going to go for their tanks. They're going to go for the ones that do the most damage.
I feel like, Hong Kong China feels like they're very comfortable on this Guinevere Belleric combo, right? It feels like they practice this in scrims over and over again, and I think a wise man once said, I fear the man that practice a kick over and over again.
That's right. I mean, Vinay also has a core power spike, so if any time they want to come back, this is now. They need to find the right moment, the right opportunity.
It's all about Ankit.
Fear the 1,000 kick from Hong Kong China.
Yep, I feel like it's all down to Ankit, right? Ankit and Binay need to work together. Ankit setting it up, looking at Chan. Binay letting down real world manipulation, cutting on the 2 better airstrike for the side, a little bit too shallow. Law is just landing onto the damage, onto the Paul. Ankit down.
holding on for a little bit too long. Ankit was in the right position. When Ankit was there, Hong Kong China, they kind of know that, okay, when Fatal Links is coming, let's just back off just a little bit. We'll put Chan in the corner. At least if they pull Chan in, you use the Rapid Dryad to pull everyone back in. So that is the strategy right here.
Hong Kong China looking for the full stop to this long essay as Nepal throws the body to try to defend. But two members from the side of the Hong Kong China already down, but the core is still being worked on by Wang as Hong Kong China takes game number 3.
A dominant performance from Hong Kong China once again. A little bit of a shaky game 2, but in game 3, they're not making any mistakes.
Yeah, the sign of, you can see that Hong Kong China, the face, the sigh of relief was there. Game number 2, they're like, what just happened? Let's just, just wipe that from our memory because here, that's a 2. Oh no, sorry, it's just 2-1. I'm just using the MLBB reference.
But then again, it's not only 2-1 for Hong Kong. This is their last game of Group D. This is 3-1 in their match score. So I'm not too sure about the seedings. I'm not going to care about that as of now. But the last game, they went out with a win. Went out with a W. That is huge for Hong Kong China. So props to them. For the side of Nepal, though, back to the drawing board, because not only did they have to play previous 3 games against Hong Kong China, they're up next against Sri Lanka once again.
Yeah, and I think this is when, there's not a lot of time to basically go back and dissect because there's not a lot of time as compared to, some of the other matches, right? But of course, kudos on the side of this Guinevere on Wang. He's just bushwhacking, first pick Guinevere. Now we know why.
There's an assassin, fighter-ish Guinevere thing. Woman, player, beast, animal, you name it. This was just Guinevere at its best. I think in this game, he played it to the T. Played well to the draft as well, with Bellerix pulling everyone in with the Raptor Dryad, just waiting for the right opportunity. He's going to places, and he has so much potential leading up into potentially Nagoya in the international stage as well. And hopefully we see how Hong Kong China really does around the rest of the world and the rest of the other groups.
Yep, and that's it, right? For the side of Hong Kong China, they've already played with everybody in the...
everybody.
Yeah, they played with everybody in the group stage already, so their points are kind of locked. But Nepal, on the other hand, right, there is a bit of chance for them to be able to, at the very least, get into the last chance qualifiers.
So right now, 1 win, 2 loss. If they get a 2-2 for Pakistan, will be a little bit difficult for that. But then again, honestly though, we'll just end off with this game as of now. Okay, so it's immediately updated right here, and then Hong Kong 3-1. Yeah.
But I feel like if you are, not say unfortunately, but luckily I would say for the side of Hong Kong China, right, is that this is, I would say, the best roster. I feel like they've practiced on Wang on the Guinevere, Chan on the Belleric, Cheng on the Bruno. I feel like that's what, the 3-game Bruno?
There's a 3-game Bruno. I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And like, this really goes down to their national motto. Fear not the man who practices 1,000 kicks.
Yeah, definitely.
Fear the man who practices one kick 1,000 times. And it's true to their metal. And I think that I'm really excited to see how Hong Kong China really does amongst the rest of the other international teams in the rest of the other groups. This is Group D though, and only facing up against the side of South Asia and East Asia. So, and they have shown a lot of discipline, a lot of improvement and adjustments throughout the rest of the series. And I'm very glad to see 3 games in the first 2 series of the day, especially for this one. It really goes to show, like, hey, they are. There have been a little bit more shakeups. There's not one team that really outperforms the other. There might be one dominant game for Hong Kong China, but then they make mistakes and the other team capitalizes and really takes control of that. So it's really close, and it's not only in Group D, but also in Group B that we saw in the earlier game as well.
You know what? I feel like when I cast with you, it's just like did Mars infect you or something from MPL MY?
Maybe. Huge shout out to Mars as well. Big fan. I know. But hey, potential 21-game consulate. I know the production is going to kill me for this, but we want to see more out of these plays. We want to see more hometown flavors for everyone. Take a look at the standings from Group D. Nepal still not the woods just yet, 1-1 still have one more game against Sri Lanka that they have to play, and it looks like statistics-wise they might be able to make their way up on top. This is not really adjusted as of yet. Hong Kong, China had one game win, so it's a 3-1. They're still second in the rankings. Nepal have a pretty decent spot in the last chance qualifier. So this is 2 on the top going straight to Nagoya, and then 1 last chance qualifiers.
Yeah, definitely. Right? I think, like what you mentioned, right? Nepal definitely at the mercy, but there is another chance for them in the next series that we'll be watching later on, because that's when, according to my schedule, next series. Oh yeah, the next series that they're gonna have to try to do is to basically go up against Sri Lanka. And in fact, that will be the series that we are watching next.
Yes, that's the next series. It's just updated that Mongolia also beat out Sri Lanka 2-0, so that puts Mongolia up on the board as well. Then it's going to be a tie between Nepal and Pakistan, so this is going to be looking very, very spicy for now.
It is. I think today is definitely going to be a very big day for the side of Nepal. It's either they make it or break it. Don't forget, they're coming out from the series from a loss. It is about tempo, and tempo is king, especially when it comes to MLBB. So we're excited to see what Nepal and also Sri Lanka have in store for this particular group. So ladies and gentlemen, with that said, don't go away. We're going on a short break. We'll be right back.
Shrine your most brilliant moment in crimson splendor. Even something so crude can be graced with a splatter of beauty. I'll get you out! You finally come to me, Hanabi-sama!
This madness ends now!
At last, I'm shivering with excitement! Such killing intent. Does this mean Hanabi-sama finally understands Kirara? So warm. So beautiful. We can finally embrace eternity in hell. Just in
human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.